And in an unexpected turn of events, here I am looking at the brand new Combiner Wars Devastator. Wait, brand new? I'll explain what I mean when we jump into Devastator and the Constructicons in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, a whole bunch of groups that I'm either a mod on or an admin for. All those links are in the description below. Check out all my social media. Those links also in the description below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube. Become a channel member, baby. And this is, yes, Combiner Wars Devastator. And I've had a lot of people recently in 2021, yes, this is 2021, ask me, hey, GotBot, what do you think of them reissuing Devastator? And I kind of at first said the same thing that I always say. I looked at this entire set, I looked at the PC-07 add-on, and I looked at the combined mode, the whole thing, from episodes 15 to 22, long time ago, really early on, and they have not aged well. But I had to say that so many times, and if you want more detail, you can certainly go back and look at those. But I had to do that so many times that I said, you know what, I'm just going to go back and I'm going to do a rewind review one time. This isn't something that I plan on doing a ton of or anything, but since this guy's getting reissued and a lot of people have been on the fence about him, I thought that I would do it. Now, if you're interested in picking this guy up, or you're on the fence and you're not sure if he's the Devastator for you, you can always check him out at the Big Bad Toy Store after you watch the review of him here. And of course there's a link for the Big Bad Toy Store down in the description below as well to take you in so you can find this lad and buy him for yourself if you are so inclined. But is he a good Devastator? Is he a good set of Constructicons? Is this the set for you when there are so many options out there? Well, we're going to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this whole set. So yes, indeed, this is a bit of a weird one. I'm going to ask you to buckle in a bit. We are looking at Titan Class Devastator. Yes, we did look at him here previously on the channel a long time ago, man. Some of my earliest reviews where we went in depth with each one, I covered this guy as well as the PC-07 upgrade kit. That's the one that really focuses on upgrading the individual Constructicons. I looked at all of the Constructicons and that set way back in a little series that ran from episodes, get this, 15 to 22. But right now, in 2021, we are getting a re-release of Titan Devastator, and a lot of people have questioned, you know, is he good? Should I get him? Should I not? And while he's been selling out in a lot of places, you can still get him, you know? So I figured, you know what? This was a chance for us to kind of go back in time a little bit and sort of check this guy out. I'm going to do it, of course, with the PC-07 set on as well. I would advise, if you can get this Devastator, get it. It works for my collection. There's a lot of options out there, man, for Devastator. A ton of them. So it might work for yours, it might not. I'm going to try and streamline this a bit where I did kind of look at this in depth before. This is all of the vehicle modes. They look good. In vehicle mode, they all look like they should. Each one has storage for their kind of stock accessories as well as the like PC-07 accessories, so to speak. We're going to look at each one individually kind of quickly to go through here so that you can make an informed decision if you're thinking about this. Like I said, there's a lot of different options out there for Devastators. This one works for my personal collection. And you know what? It's time that I give you kind of an updated view of it. We have, of course, Scavenger, Scrapper, Long Haul. Then we have Hook. Then we have Mixmaster. And then down on the far end, we have Bonecrusher. We're going to start off with Scavenger first. And yes, indeed, here we have Scavenger. And I like this. I think it looks good. I think it looks perfectly fine for Scavenger. Honestly, when I look at this, I mean, we have the little bit of red over here. That's not exactly animation accurate, but it does break up some of the color. Outside of that, like even up to our Decepticon logo right there in the front, it's pretty accurate in tractor mode. I'm going to give it like a 10 in tractor mode for that. However, I will point out that this piece here, while it can go out like this and twist like that, the actual bucket cannot move. You can get an upgrade that removes this whole section, and you can upgrade that. The blaster right here from the PC-07 set, it has a little, I'm going to say 3mm peg hole on it so that it can peg down over right there. He rolls just fine, not because of his treads, but because of little rollers that are on him. In terms of transformation to robot, we're going to do this super quick, and I'm not focusing on any of the details here. We bring that over, and we bring that out and up, and like I said, I'm flying through this pretty quickly here. We bring that arm up, flip out the hand, and flip out the hand. That's those arms done. We can bring down the chest piece and flip out the head and bring that back up. The legs kind of come unpegged and down around while we flip this piece up. There's a hinge in right here, so you actually have to flip the waist up from this hinge in here. We bring the legs down, extend a leg, open a foot, extend the leg down, open a foot, and we can stand the guy up. Of course, he's gone off screen. I'm going to just readjust things so we can see him in his robot mode glory. Okay, so here we have him now in his glorious robot mode. Yes, the red isn't quite right on the chest. We shouldn't have the yellow down on the lower abdomen, that's fine. But overall, the green's where it should be, the purple's where it should be. The head sculpt is right on, man. I'm going to say that the guy is a solid 9 overall. He's supposed to be Voyager size. Here he is next to a Deluxe Class Siege offering, so he's significantly bigger. Whether or not you think that is accurate, that's up to you. But color-wise, yeah, 9. Transformation, 9. It's pretty involved but interesting to get here. In terms of articulation, the head goes left and right, kind of wiggles up and down. The arms can go all the way around. A little bit of a chest butterfly because of transformation. Ball joint at the elbow, but gives us a swivel, nothing at the wrist. Legs can go all the way out to the side, all the way forward, all the way back. We have a knee to just under 90, but it's good enough and it's up high. We have ankle tilt, and we have a thigh swivel. So he has pretty much everything you'd want him to have in terms of articulation. Again, a 9. Overall, the dude's a 9. He's supposed to also be able to hold another accessory. The PC-07 blaster, it can go like on his arm or in his hand, of course. This guy's a great start with a 9. Let's move on to the next one. And so now we move to the second arm. And with a 9 already, I'd say we're doing pretty good. Again, we use the, I guess the screw hole is what we're really using. And there are little 3mm pegs on the side of this blaster. This is the blaster that's supposed to go with him for his like G1 look. It goes stuck in right there. Rolls pretty good. I like this for the most part, but this guy's somewhat controversial from the set. In case you didn't know, trying to put his hips together, it's a bit of a bear. So we untab the leg sections here, and we're going to bring this up, and then we untab all this. These leg sections here, untab and come down, and then this goes down. This section, same thing, it comes down, and then this goes out. What you're trying to do is you actually have, bring this to the outside and this to the outside. You actually have the black, I guess, hinge in here has a tab and a slot. And then you have 2 little hooks on the green section. You need to line up the tab and the slot, and then you have to push the hooks at a 45-degree angle so that they'll kind of slot into one another. It is a bit of a bear to do. A lot of people say, like, his legs don't go together. Yes, they do, but you got to do it the right way. So, in trying to do it the right way, you're going to... Best thing for me to do is actually get it put together and then show you it put together. But you do have to start by lining up the little sections there first in the pelvis, and then these little green tabs at a 45 so that it looks like this. And this is what the pelvis section of yours should look like. You have the black that has gone pegged into one another, and then the front is tabbed and the back is tabbed. At a 45-degree angle I pushed it. You'll specifically hear a little bit of a click on the back tab, and once it's done, the hips are actually solid, but it's a bit of a nuisance to get there. Once we've got the hips done, then we can extend the legs and open the feet exactly like we did on Scavenger. Then we come to the rest of the body here. This piece here will eventually come up over the front of this, but for now, we pick that off the back, and we should be able to, pick this arm out and this arm out. Extend the arms down, extend the arms, and bring them down. Then this whole section on this, I don't know, hinge I guess we call it, that will come up and in. This, will flip up, and the head, will also flip up. Then this comes up and in and tabs in place, and this comes up over the chest of Bonecrusher. You angle down the hinge here, and when that's angled all the way down, then you should be able to angled all the way down. Then this should be able to kind of tab up over in under the chin, and boom, in the end, here you have Bonecrusher in his robot mode. Okay, so scores for old Bonecrusher here. Well, first things first, the transformation, because of that pelvis section, is a bit of a nuisance. I'm going to say it's only about a 7. They should have engineered that to lock together better than it does. The paint apps, again, like they're about an 8.5 because the arms shouldn't actually be silver. They should be green. The hands are right, the rest of it is right. The silver that's on the chest also shouldn't really be there, so it's about an 8.5. In terms of the articulation for the guy, we have a head that can go left and right. The arms, again, can go all the way around, well out to the side. Because of the ball joint, we have a swivel there. Nothing at the wrist. Do we have a waist? I think we have a bit of a waist, but it's hindered by this. Maybe if that's... no, the waist is kind of locked, to be honest with you. And then the hips can go forward. They can go back if you get this piece out of the way. Bend of the knee to about 90 degrees and way out to the side. Again, you have to have that pelvis locked. It's a nuisance to do it. But once it's done, it's pretty solid and secure. And we have an ankle tilt, and I guess the toes forward and back a little bit. I'm going to say that the articulation, again, it has pretty much everything you could want, assuming you have the pelvis done right. The guy's a solid 9. So he was a 7, an 8.5, and a 9. Overall, the guy's about an 8.25. He is not as good as Scavenger. Not bad, but you definitely have to know how to do the pelvis. If you don't know how to do the pelvis and don't lock it in right, this guy is not going to be for you. You're not going to like him. You're going to say, he is garbage. I can't argue it with you, honestly. But for me, because I do know how to do the pelvis, and now I've told you how to do the pelvis, overall, he's about an 8.25. And from the arms, we move to the legs for our third offering, and the leader of the team, Scavenger. His blaster goes in his hand and rolls. Out of package, this guy's the weakest mold because his arms have no elbow. He's also the smallest Voyager of them all, as far as I'm concerned. And I think that not engineering an elbow in there was a bit of a fatal flaw for this guy, which is why the Perfect Effect PC-07 upgrade is really vital and crucial for this guy. I also painted his ladder. His ladder was unpainted, so I painted his ladder silver. This guy does have the alternate arms on him. It's a pretty close match of the green. But the standard ones, because they have no elbow, they would not fold up like this on the side. They would just be straight and kind of tabbed in, and you'd have the ladder going up there. This is why it's worth getting this. He rolls just fine. No problem there. The blaster, that is also his Perfect Effect blaster, goes in his hand. It comes back, I don't know. I guess it's supposed to be like a smoke stack thing there. Whatever. But we could take it out of his hand. Ooh. And as I said, the regular arms, they just come back here. These ones actually have a little slot that tabs onto the foot. The regular ones, when they come back, there's also a slot that goes on the foot, but it's a straight arm. It's a simpler transformation. Not that this one's hard. So we picked this up. By the way, a lot of people have also noted there's a little tab right here that's used for the foot. A lot of people have noted that that's broke off on theirs. I don't know how they broke it or why, but okay. This comes down and the whole foot flips forward. Same over here. This comes down, whole foot flips forward. And then these pieces here should, yeah, there you go. These pieces here should fold down kind of behind the leg. There's a little peg here that goes into a little peg hole right there. And that's what will hold the legs together. Getting the legs apart. Got those together there like that. Then normally we would just pick the arm off, but in this case you have to also extend the arm and rotate it around and bring out the wrist. Same on the other side. If you have the perfect effect arm, you bring it out, you rotate it around and bring out the fist. And now we can stand the guy up, but of course he's probably going to go a little bit off screen, so I need to adjust. And now that we've got him stood up, we can come here and we lift up the head. In terms of this backpack piece, I think you're supposed to use that little tab as if you were going to foot mode and bring it there, but I'm not sure how that's supposed to go now behind his back. And here we have Scavenger in his robot mode. Or rather, Scrapper Scavenger. Scavenger, we already did. Some of these like repetitive names sometimes though, sometimes they trip me up a little bit. So in this mode, what can we say about his paint apps? Well, honestly, the silvers and the reds really are kind of where they are. The silver that's on his face and his face mask probably should be a darker, almost gray color. The green on his arms is right. The silver on his thighs is right. Even the silver and gold detailing there on his waist is right. The green is right. Honestly, 10 for his paint apps. The transformation, again, I'm going to say that it's about a 10. It's like interesting the way the legs go together, but it's simple and it's easy. Same for going to leg mode. So we have a 10, but then we get to the articulation. And stock at a package, this guy has a head that can go left and right and up and down. He doesn't have a waist, but he does have arms that can go out that far. They can go all the way around. They do have a rotation. Even the regular one has a rotation, but it will stay perfectly straight. There is no elbow on the stock arms. We have legs that can go forward to there. They can go back to there. He can do splits like, you know, all the way out to the side. We have a bit of a thigh swivel. I think we got it. Yeah, we got a mushroom way up there in the thigh. It's not a huge thigh swivel, but it's enough. 90 degree at the knee, and we do have ankle tilt, which is, of course, always very, very nice. I would say stock in a package, though, his articulation is only about a 7. The dude doesn't have elbows. Like, that is, he has everything else, but he's lacking that. The PC-07 set, for this alone, is worth it. Absolutely worth it for this alone. I said he's a smaller Voyager, and he is. Here he is next to, he's still big, but here he is next to Siege, Ironhide again, and, you know, I mean, it is what it is, right? Arguably, these are, there's something about the scaling of these guys or the proportions of these guys that doesn't seem to match up. That is true, and they, like, a smaller version's been done with all these guys being deluxes. That's a KO. So maybe you'd want the smaller version. I don't know. But overall, with a 10 and a 10 and a 7, I would say that this guy in particular, Scrapper, is somewhere around an 8. He's one of the weaker ones because of the lack of elbows. If you have the PC set and the elbows are there, honestly, the articulation then is 9, 9.5, and overall the guy's a 9 or 9.5. It's so funny. Without the elbows, I call him one of the weakest of the set. Not the weakest, but one of the weakest. With elbows, I think he's one of the strongest, him and Scavenger. And so far, so good. And we get into another one of the more controversial offerings from this set, that being Mixmaster. And a lot of people got this and they said, the cab looks strange and the back has windows. That's so odd. Why is that? When of course it must go in this direction, right? And why are the double tires here? It seems backwards. Indeed, it is somewhat backwards. First, I colored in the silver here. Also, we have another Perfect Effect blaster here. That's put in the hand along the side. And the forearms on this are not the stock forearms that come on the guy. They are Perfect Effects forearms that come on the guy. We'll talk about that a bit in robot mode. Transformation is still pretty much the exact same thing, though. And yeah, that's about it. But this actually goes in this direction. This is the front of it, right? And the cement, I guess, would come down here through here and on the side, I don't know how it works. But here's the thing. I was like, that seems idiotic. But this is actually a type of cement mixer. It is a huge industrial cement mixer like you would see on huge work sites. But this is a real thing. I also colored in the silver back here. You could use this as a cab, and there are add-on kits that actually give you a cab piece to fit down over here. I don't have that. It doesn't bother me that much, but if it bothers you and you feel like it's backwards and you can't get it past it, there are a couple of add-on sets available for it. I think one from DNA Designs, if I'm not mistaken. There's definitely the PC-06 that gives you a whole bunch of stuff that goes on the combined mode. But this is fine for me. It rolls just fine. In terms of the coloration stuff, well, we'll talk about that in robot mode. But here's what I can tell you. The truck really isn't right. Even if you wanted to go backwards with it, there's still purple here on the side that would have to be filled in, and you would still need a Decepticon logo up right here on the front. It's just, I get what they were trying to do, but I don't think it really worked out. So, in terms of the transformation for the guy, pretty simple actually. These legs come out and go down. Then, over here, this arm comes off and comes up. There's a little tab there, that's what the arm goes over. Same on the other side, comes around and goes off. We stand the guy up and we split the legs, and he's gone off screen. You know what that means. That's right, old GotBot had to come here and readjust, so we bring out an arm and we bring out an arm and bring those up. We can open that section back and flip out the head and then bring this whole section forward, up and over right there. And there we go with Mixmaster in his robot mode. And how does Mixmaster match up? Pretty good in robot mode. He has green going right down his arms. He shouldn't have tires here, but that's forgivable. The lower legs, highly stylized, but the purple is there where it should be. Same on his abdomen, or sorry, his pelvis. There's silver on his abdomen. That shouldn't really be there. Should be just a couple of kind of dots, really. There's more color here. The head sculpt, though, is really spot on and about as correct as you could want it. Yes, these little pieces up here that people like to color in are supposed to be green. I'm going to say overall he's about a 7. Now, I have to say 7 because it's not really accurate, to be perfectly honest with you. Plus, you got like a lot of junk back here, man. So it's about a 7 for his paint apps. It's about a 7 for the transformation. And honestly, his articulation is about a 7. Stock in a package. We have forearms here that are kind of hollow, and the hinge is actually a purple hinge. So it looks like his elbow is kind of purple, but it's down sort of low and in a weird position. These ones here let you get an elbow up to there, straight down if you want. We have a wrist swivel, and we have a I guess it's like a swivel at the forearm. No bicep swivel or rotation. That is a pain. We have the arm going all the way around. It can go out to the side only a little bit. Really, really limited. Hard to go across the body. I mean, that's about the best you're getting across the body. The legs, however, Getting that up and away. You can go all the way to the side. Can't really go back because of all the barrel junk here. All the way forward. We have a knee to 90 degrees. We have a swivel. No waist. No waist on the guy. And we do have ankle tilt, which is nice. So it's whether you leave the stock arms in or the perfect effect arms in, it doesn't really add to your articulation. The only differences that the perfect effect arms give you is the forearms now are filled in, and the elbow seems to be at more of a natural bend in the arm rather than being like almost seeming like the arm is down too low. Either set of arms is fine. Again, his blaster, while I have it stuck in behind here, he can hold it in his hand just fine. Not the strongest. The articulation limitations of the arms are again about a 7. Overall, this guy's about a 7. Definitely one of the weaker offerings. So as we head into the 5th member, what have we learned so far? Well, what we've learned overall is that the guys who make up the arms are probably a bit stronger than the guys who make up the legs. Or, well, you know, that depends on if you have the upgrade kit for Scrapper or not. If you do, cool. Otherwise, elbowless wonder, not a fan. Now we're getting to the main torso, and the first is going to be the upper torso, that being Hook. And Hook, of course, comes with a blaster. It has a I guess a rectangular or like a square peg hole on the side of the blaster. On the side of his crane arms there are square pegs. You can just have it in there. The crane arm itself, in truck mode, it can't turn, it can't extend, it can't do anything except go up and down like this. It's not a very functional crane. You can get an upgrade that does allow it to extend and gives it a little more functionality. It looks the part, but it's not really functional. He rolls just fine. Again, he has forearms on him that are from the Perfect Effect set. They're folded up right here on the side. His regular arms just folded on the side. Again, not a huge benefit other than I think it gives you a wrist rotation that maybe you didn't have before, and the forearm itself is filled in. Plus, when you transform it like this, where this folds up on the side, maybe it looks a little cleaner. I don't know. That's debatable. So he rolls just fine, again, in this mode. In terms of accuracy, well, we shouldn't have the purple here, really. All that should be green, but I mean, it's kind of unavoidable, to be perfectly honest with you. I guess besides that, it's pretty accurate. There should be some purple detailing on the armature here. Up here should probably have a little bit of purple with just the hook being silver. Minor gripes. It's still pretty good. You definitely know that it is Hook, no doubt about it. Transformation for the guy. We pick this up. See if I can remember this now, because it's been a little while. Oh yeah, okay. So we bring this down, and same on the other side. We bring it down. Very similar to what we did with Scrapper. We fold out, or we should be able to, kind of fold out the leg. Now we don't fold it all the way out. What happens is there's an armature. If I can split two of these. There's an armature inside that brings it down behind the leg like that. See if I can show it with the other leg here a bit better. No guarantee that I can though. Yeah, okay, so get that one out of it. What you have is this black armature in here, and it folds down like that, and then this folds back in and locks in. And now the guy will be able to stand up, and of course he goes off screen, as is often the case with these transformations. So we know what I'm going to do, don't we? That's right, man. We're going to get this sorted and repositioned. Alright, now that we are repositioned, we can come over here. We should be able to take these two arms out, I thought. Yeah, there we go. We pick that arm out and we... Where are you? There we go. We pick that arm out. Then we come down here. And we straighten this down and we bring it forward. And we straighten this down and bring it forward. Then you're supposed to take the, I guess the section here on the back, and using a hinge inside here on the back, you're supposed to bring this like all the way down on the shoulders like that. But the problem I find with bringing it all the way down like that is that you end up really sort of limiting the shoulders. So I personally leave it up a bit. Go Do I leave it up that high? Might leave it up that high. Yeah, I do. Let me reposition some of this. There. That's why I leave that up. Bit fiddly to get here, but once you're here, it's pretty good for hook. You can, again, position the backpack sort of as you see fit. I leave it up so that it increases the range of motion. In terms of paint, well, in terms of transformation, there's a little tab at the front that a lot of people complain about breaking. It doesn't really affect anything. It's this little tab right here pegs in over here to hold the two legs together in truck mode. A lot of people have broken that tab. I've transformed this guy a billion times. It's never broken on me. Again, I leave the backpack up so I can get a full range of motion on the arm out. So the arm can go all the way around. We have an elbow to 90, but because of the way that this goes, can you bend this up more? Maybe you can't. Elbow to 90. Still no bicep swivel. We do have a wrist rotation. We don't have, it doesn't look like we have even a forearm rotation this time. No waist. The head, it can go up and down and left and right. Getting the arms out there now. The legs, oh, make sure that's tabbed in. The legs can go all the way out to the side. Forward. Back all the way. Thigh swivel built inside the thigh. About a little under 90 degrees, maybe 85, 86 degrees. Like he has everything that you'd want, but the range of motion could be a little bit better. The arms could be a little bit better. I don't know. Transformation, honestly, about a 7. Paint apps and look, it's pretty good from the waist up. Little more red than I'd like. From the waist down, actually from the knees up is pretty good. From the knees down is not quite right. It shouldn't be so much green. One entire leg should be silver. The other one should have this on the front of it instead of on the back of it. But, like, at least in robot mode it looks uniform. I'm going to say it's about an 8. And the articulation, it too is about a 7. Overall, this guy, much like Mixmaster, is about a 7. Maybe a bit better than Mixmaster. Maybe a 7.5, let's say. And finally, here we have Long Haul, man. Long Haul, and he has everything on him that comes with Devastator regularly. Basically, what you do is you take the center chest piece and it pegs in a hole on the top of the overhang section. Then Devastator's blaster gets separated into 2 pieces. The barrel, the main barrel piece, we'll say, has a peg that goes to a peg hole. The other odd piece has a rectangular slot that fits down over a rectangular peg. The 2 side chest pieces, the 2 wing pieces, they kind of fit down loosely, I might add, in a couple little notches toward the back tail section. The 2 arms, they fold to become missile launchers. They also have pegs that come out on the back of the hands, and they peg down to peg holes back here. His Perfect Effect blaster goes right here. There's a little, again, rectangular edge that goes over a little rectangular slot on the arm. And then the Perfect Effect forearms that, again, give this guy an elbow as well. They actually slot in, interestingly, back right here. This one doesn't fit in quite as good. The tolerance is just slightly off on the knee. Once you get it in there, it's okay, but it's a little wonky. But they're back there, and they hang out, and I don't know, it looks like a back bumper-ish thing, I guess. So, everything from the Perfect Effect set can be held, wielded, whatever you want to call it, by these guys. Everything from the Devastator set can be held, wielded, whatever you want to call it, by these guys. To do the transformation here, we have to get all this junk off so that it looks like this. And now he's pretty bare bones, except for those hands that are on the back. So we're going to begin by picking those hands off. They just untab, no problem, and come off. We'll use them again in a little bit. To do the transformation here, we basically pick that up, and we pick these off the side, and we pick up the entire backpack section. The whole thing. And then all of that comes up over. And once we have the arms here extended out of the way, comes down. There's a hinge in here for the arms. That's what we extend them on. Once we have the arms out, you'll notice there's a little tab right there. On the black hinge, there's a little slot that comes up over that tab. So you should be able to bring the arm up like that. Bring the arm up on the other side as well. And we come here and we fold out that piece. And we fold out this piece. Seems like inner thighs. They become the feet of this guy. We're going to stand him up. And we're going to rotate him around and bring that piece down on his back. I'm going to readjust things a little bit because the guy's getting big. And now to finish his transformation, we come here and we pick up the head. Now, fresh stock in a package. And this is what we've got for long haul. Big, burly, but at the same time, there's something just kind of, I don't know, stout about him, I guess. I get how big and burly this guy's supposed to be, but something just feels off, sorta, kinda. Now, we'll talk about it. In terms of his looks and his paint apps, well, actually, before that, the transformation, to get here, easy. I mean, all you did was fold his feet up from the sides, lift his arms off, pick up the backpack and bring it up over his chest and fold it down on back and rotate it, his upper body around. It's easy. But it's interesting at the same time. Enough here to be interesting. Everything is incorporated in the vehicle mode. I'm going to say it's about an 8. Like, I think it's fine for what it is, especially since the guy's also got to be a torso. And in terms of the look, like, it's all right. Like, I feel like there's more detailing here on the chest than it should be. Like, yes, it should be this section of the truck, but I feel like it should be a little more simplified. This is right up here. This is right over here. The purple on his body should also be green. His silver here on his upper thighs and whatnot, that shouldn't be silver, but I think it matches Devastator better, and I think that's probably why it was done. It's supposed to be solid green. Red should be on the knees, but we have it up here instead, so like it's there. Then we get to the arms. The arms should have the tire here, but they should all be black instead of this purple. So the head sculpt is beautiful and correct, by the way. So we had an 8 for his transformation. In terms of his paint apps and his coloration, I don't know, we'll say it's an 8 again, I guess. The articulation, the head, it can go left and right, pretty tight, no real up and down. The arms can go all the way around. They can go out a little bit, not as much as you'd like. These can go out like that, but there's no, like, there's a sideways elbow, but there's no forward elbow, no wrist. He does have a waist. It's for Devastator, but he does have a waist. Then we have the legs. Heavy ratchets, man, out to the side. Again, that's for Devastator. Picking that hip skirt up. Back that far. Forward, I guess about that. Well, if you bend the knee, you can get it all the way out. 90-degree knee, ankle tilt, swivel at the knee, so there's kind of your bicep swivel. Again, stock in the package, this guy does not have elbows, so I gotta give it only about a 7. However, since he was already getting like an 8 and an 8, having the 7, he's still getting about 7.75. That can be remedied a little bit with the Perfect Effect set. Because what you do with Perfect Effect forearms this time around, I think this is simple but brilliant, is there's a panel in here that has a 5mm peg on it and a hand here with a 5mm peg hole. So just like him holding a blaster, you get him basically to hold onto his forearms. Plus they're black. So that affects the overall score. So we're going to take this one and put it over here. And make sure it's in his hand, which I think it is. Now I would say his paint apps are more like a 9 because the arms are black like they should be. The articulation goes from being about a 7 to now being more like about an 8, 8.5. We still have the outside weird elbow to the side movement. Still don't have a I guess a bicep swivel, but now we do have an over 90-degree bend at the elbow here, and these wrists do rotate. So the wrists rotate like grrr, and we have a swivel. In terms of how it works, well, you can see in right there. There's his stock hand holding onto a peg, and this is kind of hollow, but it gives us an elbow. Is it as good as the Japanese version? No. But it works just fine, and it's worked fine for me for years to give this guy elbows. Perfectly great with it. And in terms of him holding, say, a blaster like it, I don't know, let's give him this one. Like, you can't, here's the problem. It's not really strong enough for him to hold his blaster, but he can hold it out straight. Like, you can get him to hold it out straight. So, I mean, I don't know. Is it a perfect fix? No, but it's all right. So as a whole, and as Constructicons, this was, and still is, a pretty great set. We had a couple of 9s, we had a couple of 8s, we had a couple of 7s. Overall, this embodies the Constructicons, and while there's a lot of sets out there, a lot of third-party offerings, and we've got the Studio Series version, and we've got like older third-party offerings and ones that are MP scaled, and knockoffs of third parties, and we even have a KO downsized version of this, but the reissue of this set, this as a set of Constructicons, they're great construction vehicles. They absolutely embody the intended characters so well. No other set captures the look this well. Could there be things done with the build quality to improve it? Yeah, sure. Like the pelvis of Bonecrusher. Like the arm functionality of Hook and Mixmaster, for example. Again, the arm functionality and elbows for Scrapper and Long Haul. Nothing really with Scavenger. He's probably the best of the whole set. I would say, as a set of Constructicons, this is a solid 8 overall. Not perfect, but pretty fantastic. What about Devastator? And for Phase 2, we begin things with this guy, Mixmaster. We're going to pick that back and fold his head in and fold this chest piece out. We're going to turn the guy around. We're going to open up his foot and bring out the kind of front section of the cab. Same over here, foot, open up, bring out the front section of the cab and close it up. We can sandwich the feet together and fold them at the knees to go back there. Sandwich that together. Then we take that and we bring them in on the sides. And that's it. There's a leg done, ready to go. We have a square peg now up here that part of Long Haul will slot over, and then these will slot up behind a section that we open up in Long Haul's leg, and that's what will solidify this. This has to be that leg because of the ankle tilt. And from one leg to the other leg, we push down his head. We stand him up. We bring the arms down this way and we slot them in. We fold in the hands. We rotate around and rotate around. Make sure that these are tabbed in there. There's that. Then we fold the legs back down as if we're going to tractor mode, but we leave these sections up. Again, same sort of thing. Now that we have them down, there's a squarish tab right here that Long Haul will slot over, and these feet will slot up kind of behind him. If you want extra solidity, you can turn that around. Again, you have a little bit of an ankle tilt now in that direction. By the way, the argument for not having an elbow was that apparently it would hurt the stability of Devastator standing up. Japan had elbows, And I've had him standing up with these for 5 years now, so there was no need to not have elbows. It was just cheaping out. Next up we have the waist lad, that being long haul. I'm saying waist lad, lower torso, thighs, he's that guy. We're going to begin by picking these off and picking these off. We'll sort them out later. Fold these up and fold the head down. When this guy goes attached, the treads of the arms pegging on rectangular tabs on the back here, where we have other pegs that are going to come down and go in the smokestack and come down and go in the top of this section. There's a fist that will go back here. There's a lot of ways that this ends up connecting later on. As well, we're going to just pick up the back and rotate that around because we need that done now for Devastator. We're going to take this foot and it comes in here as part of the inside of Devastator's thigh. Same there. And then we bring down this leg section here. We bring this down here and we should be able to open it. Just need to find now where it is it opens from again. There we go. So we open that section and we open this section. Now, with these opened, you'll notice we have a little slot here and a little slot right there. That's what goes over the squarish sections, and then the 2 feet pegging up top here and pegging up top here. So that this guy looks like this so far, but we still have 3 members to go, being the 2 arms and the upper torso. Speaking of upper torso, let's do that next. So for Devastator's upper torso, we come to Hook, and pretty much we have to put Hook in his vehicle mode again. For the most part anyway. Yeah, we'll pick that up over. That goes all the way up. And then these come up on the side. And these come up on the side and they go in. The lower legs here, again. And that foot on my copy has always liked to come off. It's not a big deal, but it's just a nuisance. Bring that up. Same thing over here. That comes up and we bring that up. And we tab these together. And basically, is it this side? Yeah, it's this side. And should be able to, there. You have to like untab the waist all together. These come out, and using 2 little notches here and a little tab right here, those 2 sections will tab together. Then, using these 2 tabs up here, we flip out Devastator's head, and using these 2 tabs right here and these 2 slots right here, the head should tab down into position there. Why are you not doing it? There. This hangs out, which is a bit too bad. This arm here, normally it would have to sort of hang out, but we can do this because it's the perfect effect arm. Then this here opens out. That's what one of Devastator's arms will go on to. Over on this side, we flip this up and bring it out. This is what the other arm of Devastator will go into. This arm here needs to just stay as it is. And then when we come down here underneath, we fold down this rounded peg, and then we come over here to his chest and we take out this more rectangular peg. And then this guy is going to slot down over long haul. And what we have is that square peg and that circular peg, but also a rectangular slit in this foot, and I feel like, yeah, on the side of his chest, a rectangular slit. And the top of the shoulders of long haul have rectangular tabs on them that will fit up in those slits. Lining all 4 things up is a bit of a nuisance, but once you line all 4 of those tabs up, the shoulders of long haul, the kind of smokestack of long haul and the top of the cab section of long haul, and you can put all this in. It holds quite solidly and looks like this. So far, so good, but we got 2 arms to do, and then we need to attach them. One arm goes attached right there, and the other arm goes attached on the same way the other side. And then we have one of the treads that tabs in behind this hand, same on the other side. And then we'll put the chest piece and the other bits and pieces on. But this is starting to come together. Alright, so the first arm is going to be Bonecrusher. As you could probably guess by this piece hanging out, this is going to be the forearm section for him. So we're going to pick all of this off. We're going to take the head and put it down. We're going to close that back down. And we're going to take these arms and fold them up and bring them in. Take these arms and fold them up and bring them in. Just like that. We're going to take this and it folds up, and there's 4 little tabs. Those 4 little tabs go slotted into position, or should go slotted into position on our tractor piece here. Why are you not doing it? There, like that. And then now that I got them together, they're hard to get apart. We split the legs and bring them up on the side. Bring them up on the side. We collapse, and we collapse. We close up the feet, and we close up the feet, and we bring them down. When we bring them down now on the side, we got a little rectangular tab right here that goes into a little slot right there on the tread. That holds that in position, and we do the same thing over here, and we bring this piece down and we turn it like this so that the peg hole is out here. Why? Because we're going to want to be able to put the arm piece on. There's a little rectangular tab here. That's the little tab that's going to go over long haul's hand, basically. And then we have 1, 2 tabs right there. That's what the chest is going to peg into as this guy becomes the left arm. Oh, and that black chunk is going to go into this square slot right here. As for the other arm, that will be our lad Scavenger. And for Scavenger, we close up the legs, we collapse them as well. We'll bring the entire, if I can do it, torso section down. It will tab in right there, and this will come up like this because we're going to use this section right there. The chest opens up for the head to slot into, and that comes out. Then this whole section, we can untab the chest pieces. This whole section comes down. This hole here is what the kind of wrist and stuff will go into. We can bring these down. You untab them from here on the waist and just bring them down to the side. For now, bring that arm down, straighten up the hand, and there's a little rectangular tab there and a little tab right there. That will hold that on the side. Bringing this down, again, there's a little rectangular tab there and a little one on the inside of the tread. That will line the tread up. Over on this side, same thing, that comes down. Fold that in. Bring it in on the side. Bring this down and tab it in. And again, you're going to turn the arm, actually this one goes this way, and we're going to use a little slot here on the foot, I guess, and it's going to go over the hand of long haul so that we have more solid arms. We also have 2 tabs, or I guess ports up right here. That's what the chest will peg onto. You see what's happening here, right? But for now, it all looks like this. What am I doing? What am I doing? I keep telling you guys about a little tab and like a peg hole, a rectangular peg hole that come together here. So this is the arm of long haul up. This one comes over and tabs on just like that over the tab. Same on the other side for Scavenger. See what I mean? We have a peg right there and a peg hole right here that goes on over. So that Devastator now looks like this. And oh yeah, here we have the mighty Devastator. Well, kinda. Okay, so we still have to put his forearms on. There's a peg hole here and same on the other side. We take these pieces. It looks like 9 missile launchers right there. I painted the silver in here. There's a peg down here if you want somebody to hold it like a missile launcher. But by rights, what this is intended to be is the hand of Devastator rotated out and turned around, and then we take the peg hole and slot it on over. And I guess we can open his hand if we want. We do the same thing with the forearm missile launcher thing for the other side over there, like that. And now we have him like in this big robot mode. Then we take his chest piece, and his chest piece has 2 little peg holes on the side where we can put a side chest piece in, and we can take the other side chest piece and fit it in as well. Now, here's what we have here. We have see if I can. Okay, so we have 2 pegs right here. That's going to go into 2 peg holes there. 2 rectangular pegs here that go into 2 peg holes over here. We have a small peg right here that'll go into right there, if I'm not mistaken. This center peg, I can't even remember where this goes in, but it all fits along. The trick is to start off on one side and peg it all in going along. So, oh, that peg goes in this hole right here. Sorry, my mistake. So we should be able to line that up, peg that in, bring this across. Whew. Boom! Wow. Okay, so that took a bit of time. Finally, we take these 2 pieces and we put them together like this as his blaster. It doesn't fit in his hand great, like it's in there, but it's pretty... Okay, take 2. I did have the chest piece fall off, but it's because I thought I had it pegged in, and guess what? I did not have it pegged in. It is now, and it is solid, and it is quite secure. As I was trying to say, the blaster can go in his hand, but it's not super secure, and like the elbow isn't the strongest for hold, like, I don't, like, you know, it's not the strongest for holding it. I feel like, and I said it years ago and I'm saying it again now, I feel like that should have been done a bit better than what it was. But it wasn't. What do you do? Okay, so that then leaves the Perfect Effect set not on the guy, is it? Well, it can go on the guy. We're going to actually turn him around, and I'm going to show how that can go on him now. So, first we're going to take this blaster and put it in right there. Then we're going to take the big one. That was the one, by the way, that Long Haul himself had. Then we take the big one from Scavenger, and it'll go in up right there. However, you'll notice that you have peg holes kind of like partway up the barrel. We're going to take this one, and it slots in there really tightly. Arguably too tightly. But that's going to go in there, and then this one is going to go in over there a lot easier. Now we have a peg hole and a peg hole right there. And we take one of the blasters and we put it in. Oh, sorry, that peg hole is a small one. It's a 3mm. So we actually take the blaster that was used with Bonecrusher, and it, using the pegs on the sides, not the handle, the pegs on the sides, it will peg in right there, and then this blaster pegs it over there like that. And then the whole thing pegs in on the back. It doesn't really stick off too much. It's fine. It doesn't stick out any farther than the hook arm on hook sticks out. So I'm cool with it. I don't have an issue with it. But in the end, oh, and I forgot, we also take the hands, I guess, of long haul, and they slot in here and over a peg right here. Like the bottom of the fist goes over a peg right there. So that slots in, and then that goes over the peg. There we go. Now I can turn them around because the mighty Devastator is done. How big is Devastator? Well, he's about 18 inches tall or so. He's the same height as Combiner Wars Predaking. He's smaller than Metroplex, and he's smaller than Fortress Maximus, and he's a little bit smaller than Triptychon. Here's the thing, he was a Titan, but I think a lot of it went into the fact that he had to combine, is where you got your value there, kind of like with Predaking. But here he is with Siege Ironhides. Like, he's a big boy. He's bigger than the other combiners. There's no doubt about it. In terms of transformation to get here, generally not bad. The worst part is trying to get Hook and long haul lined up and get the chest pegged on. After that, the rest of it's pretty easy, to be honest with you. I'm going to say it's overall about an 8 to get here. In terms of the coloration for the guy, the Japanese offering is a little bit better. Where we have silver in here, that should be purple. I think that they would have benefited on long haul to make the front of the thigh green and the back of the thigh for Devastator here purple. But that's not what they did, so such is life. This silver here should just be a solid green. Same with the silver and red here. It should just be a solid purple. The detailing up here, while nice, again, should just be a solid purple. Based on the animation, based on like his original G1 release, I think a lot of these apps are accurate. The arms here should be black, but the hands, though black here, should be purple, and they are purple on the Japanese version. Besides that, I think the rest of it is pretty darn accurate. I'm going to say, you definitely know it's Devastator. The head sculpt is unmistakable. By the way, it's arguable that the face should be darker than the upper head. Maybe. I'm going to say that overall, this is a solid 9 for capturing the look of Devastator. Here's the thing, I look at this and I think immediately, yeah, that's Devastator. And I've seen your Generation Toy third-party offerings, and I've seen your Toy World Constructors that looks like Studio Ox, and I've seen the SDCC version of this. I've even seen the Japanese version, and I've seen, like, you know, Green Giant, or I think it might have been Make Toys or Make Toys, Green Giant, maybe. Kinda, sorta. I've seen the Jinbao, I've seen the NBK, all of them have their strengths and their weaknesses, no doubt about it. But this quintessentially looks like Devastator to me, and when I see all those next to this guy, while some of them are more intricate and got better build design and whatnot, for capturing the look of the intended character, this is quintessentially Devastator. That's why he's getting a 9. In terms of the transformation, like I said, that was an 8, so he's at 8.5. What about the articulation for the guy? Because that is the medal for a combiner. I'm just going to take this out of his hand because we already know that's not the best. The head can look left and right. It can look up, but you're breaking like the sculpt to do it. It cannot look down, which is a bummer because you'd like for this guy to be able to look down on his nemesis. The arm, it can go all the way around here and out, all the way and like way up. We have a little less than 90 degree at the elbow. We have a swivel, the hand opens, the wrist rotates. So it's good, it's not perfect, but it's good. What else do we have? On the other side, we have the same movement with the arm, but because of this bucket, sometimes you have to get a little more creative. Like to get his arm up over his head, you kind of have to rotate it up first. But it's fine. Maybe I can show it. Like, taking that out of it. It comes all the way out, but I find that for, you know, and it will like go forward and stuff. But I find that what I need to do a lot of the time getting this back out of the way is... Oh no, maybe I can rotate all the way around. My mistake. If I just get this back out of the way, it can rotate all the way around. My mistake. I apologize. The waist. The guy has a waist. Nice one too. Pretty unencumbered, to be honest with you. Picking these up. Now this is where things get strange for the guy. The leg can go, that just fell off, can go all the way out to the side. And it holds because of a real heavy ratchet. It comes back down. Then, get that out of the way. It can, I guess, go back, but you're going to get hindered by this. I guess if you really want to lift it up out of the way or something, you have to finagle it a bit. Then the hip can go pretty well forward and hold. But if you want to leave the hip down and leave the hip skirt down, you can still get a kick forward without breaking the sculpt, which is a weird joint, but I think I kind of dig it, and it does help stability. We do have a knee to, say, 90 degrees. And like he can get in some weird poses because of the way that this whole thing works. We do have a swivel right here, really. And we do have an ankle tilt on both sides, which was already pointed out. So, can we get him in some sort of a dynamic pose? I mean, sure, I guess, as dynamic as you're going to really get a huge combiner into. He's pretty good. He's not bad. The stability is all right with him, to be honest with you. I've never had an issue getting him to stand. I mean, maybe other people do, but it's always been fine for me. So that's all I can really talk to there. Overall, as a Devastator, well, as a set of Constructicons, I'm going to say, honestly, it's about an 8.5. As a Devastator, again, it's about an 8.5. I think that this set is totally worth it. It's being reissued. If you missed it, I think that this is a fantastic Devastator. I don't get tired of them. I don't feel a need to replace them. The only thing that would have been nicer is if he was a bit smaller, but arguably, some people would want him to be bigger. And if there's one combiner who I think is okay being bigger than the others, it's the one that has A, 6 members, and B, all 6 members are made up of huge construction vehicles. Not just your run-of-the-mill construction vehicles. These are supposed to be the huge, like, industrial-size construction vehicles. And I buy it. I buy it as a justification for this guy being this big. I think that they're good Constructicons, and I also think that they're a great Devastator. And here we are again. Here he is once again. Look, we have the whole set and the PC-07 add-on here. I love it. This is the Devastator for me. While I said at the time, and I say now, yeah, it'd be nice if he was in scale with the other combiners, and you can get a smaller KO version for that if you're so inclined. Cool, I guess. But I made the investment on this guy a long time ago, and I'm still really happy with it. Do I wish that the elbows were a little stronger? Yes, I do. Maybe a ratchet there would have been nice. Outside of that, I don't really have any complaints with the guy. He's solid, he's secure, he's stable. He looks the part more than any version of Devastator out there. Granted, some of them are pretty good, you know, some of them are KOs, but some of them are pretty good. Like, Generation Toy done a great job. But when I look at the Devastator combined mode, I'm like, it's Devastator inspired. You know, when I look at the Toy World Constructor, it's magnificent, no doubt about it, but you have to be cool with it being Studio Ox inspired. I want G1 inspired. I want a version of Devastator that I saw on the screen as a lad, and this guy ticks all of those check boxes for me. Is he perfect, or are the Constructicons perfect? No. There are certain articulation limitations or just peculiarities that I wish were handled better, and granted, the PC-07 set does a fantastic job of remedying at least some of them, certainly with Long Haul and Scrapper, and it does give them all their G1 blasters, which I like, so I think that the set is worth it too. If you're not going to get the set, should you still, like the PC upgrade kit, if you're not going to get that, should you still get this set? Yeah, I think so. I think for the investment of money, compared to having a Devastator in your collection, especially if you either weren't in collecting when this guy was released, or missed them at the time and you've sort of regretted it since, I think now is the time. I think now with the reissue coming and I'm not going to say an abundance of him, but a new abundance, I think now is the time. As a matter of fact, I like the precedent that's set with doing a reissue of Devastator. If he does well in the reissue department, maybe others that fans missed a long time ago could also get the same sort of treatment. Looking at you, Metroplex. Let me know what you think about this guy. I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time, man. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube. While you're at it, man, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, man. Have some fun with us. Don't forget, somehow, some way, each and every day, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.